Welcome back. This is Arise News. You're watching The Morning Show with me, Biola Labi. In this second part of my interview with Saidi Balogun, Chioma Akpotha, and Folu Storms, they talk about how they get into their acting character, come out of character, and why it's important that we as Africans tell our own stories. Take a look. As artists and people that are constantly channeling other people, when you get on set, how do you sort of put that suit on? And then how do you take that suit off when you go? Like, how do you sort of transition from being the character back to Said and back and forth?
I always have one thing at the back of my mind. I call them parallel lines. They don't meet. My character, if I want to get on set, fine. Once I drop that script and that set, I move into the next one. I move to the normal side, who I am. I mean, it's a thing of the mind that you want to say, okay, I'm playing a bad boy here. Should I have a bad boy always? No, just play it well. And after playing the bad boy, drop it right there and move to the next one, which I love so much.
For me, acting is very spiritual. And so I take time out, even if it's a day or two, to pray myself out of the last character I had just played. But for Antipatience, I didn't have to do anything. It was just, it was just me. It was my mom, and I lived through it. It was natural me, But some other films that,
Take you to dark places.
Take me to, dark places that I don't like and I don't want to remain there. I have to cleanse myself. It's a spiritual thing I do for myself. I pray through it, and that's it. I disconnect afterwards.
So let me ask you another question. If you're playing a character that's in a dark place, and let's say it's a 10-day shoot and you're on location, how do you do that on a day-to-day basis, like when you sort of leave set?
It's painful. It's really painful because you have to go to the deepest of the deepest to carve it out, to, just spew everything. But sometimes I find it really, really exciting. Like, okay, it's just for a while. Just calm down, just enjoy it. But for me, like I said earlier, it's spiritual, and I find it affecting me spiritually if I'm not careful. So I pray all the time whenever I find myself doing roles like that. Like the first time I shot a film, a prehistoric film, it had to do with a lot of going into the bush, doing some incantations and all of that. My dreams were really bad, so I had to call my mom. I said, please, just pray for me. I don't know what is going on. I've had people on set, walk out of set that I can't do this. It's too deep for me. It's too dark and all of that. So for me, prayer is always the first thing I do. I pray before I take on the job, and I pray afterwards. So
you're just such a beautiful actress to watch on screen. It is really just, it's almost like eating a tub of butter. You're just like, wow, I can't stop watching her. And in this film, you're also just so beautiful to watch on screen. So it's good to
I can't wait to see it.
A little bit of your process. No. And you're gonna, Sunday is the premiere.
Yes, Sunday, July the 8th. And 20th is in the cinemas. From 20th, not just 20th, after, and on.
As you're starting this, what type of techniques are you picking up on ways to go in and out of character?
I think for me, I sort of almost create like my own character Bible. So I tend to make a lot of notes for mannerisms, just things that they would do in their regular life. Prayer is definitely one thing that helps. Also really meditation and yoga, which I picked up in Brazil. Funny enough that you mentioned Brazil again. See, nothing is coincidental, I'm telling you.
There are no accidents.
No accidents. And I came across, I remember my friend saying, when I went to visit her, because she's Brazilian, I said, well, come, let's try this yoga thing. And I rolled my eyes, I was like, these people want to just forward. I just want to sleep, but it has a very good way of centering you and helping you move from that calm center of almost a meditation space into where you need to go next. So when I've created, whether it's the music, whether it's the clothes, whether it's, just a phrase that my character would have in their heads, because we all have these little mannerisms, way that we think, I just try to keep in that loop, and then to kind of pull back out, I go back to that neutral spot of whether it's a yoga, meditation, a small prayer, and go back to, okay, what does Folu like to do on a regular basis? So those are the small things I try to do for myself, just to find the calm, because for on set, for example, it was a bit tough for me because I'm going from radio to this to that. So I do have to find something that works and works relatively quickly.
I've always wanted to ask actors this. Does it feel a bit schizophrenic to do what you guys do, sort of?
Yes. Yes. And people will always ask. I know I get it a lot because some people have known me as my first name. I'm Ada Folu Storms. So that's how people know me originally. Then Folu. Then my mother was from Cross River, but Northern Cross River, and they don't bear Adobe or anything. It's just ADA. But you know, in Nigeria, everyone just assumes you're Igbo and starts speaking Igbo at you. So because I was going into radio, I needed to create something that still was me, but was, you know, I would not have to answer so many questions about. So my Yoruba heritage came through a little bit more then. My grandmother was so happy. She's like, God,
yes, finally.
My prayer, all these are up and down the place, you know. But also as a lawyer, I wanted something that was still separate to my my family identity. So yeah, some people have asked me whether I'm a little bit schizo. But I think the practice of doing that anyway sort of taught me and helped me even in my acting life, because it's something I've always done. I've just done it naturally. I just haven't really thought about it. So now that I'm consciously in this space, I'm like, oh, these are all skill sets that are helping me to transition from role to role or from position to position, depending on what I'm doing that day.
Fantastic. And then just another question for you before you pass the mic. When you look at the film, I mean, one of the things that happened at the press conference was people were asking, there's so many young people in the film. And so this film has a really interesting blend of older and younger people. Being on that type of set, what does that say? What do you think that says about sort of the storytelling in Nigeria and where we're going when it comes to sort of characters and intergenerational stories?
I think the casting is like real people casting. It's a proper cross-section of what you would expect if you go to anywhere in Nigeria, as far as I'm concerned. You will have a large number of young people because that is the reality of our country. I know that sometimes when, you know, we're looking at positions of, you know, like in hierarchies, people think, oh, we're of a certain age. But Nigeria is so young. But I love the casting because it really brought together the diversity that we have in this country. And it showcased it in a real way. And it was telling such a real story. And because my sort of daytime job involves talking about a lot of new stuff, I'm so aware of the current affairs and so aware of some of the tensions that exist in the country. And to have a film that shows not just the tensions, not just the multicultural diversity, not just the age diversity, but the reality of problems that people get into without thinking. You know, we just assume, oh, okay, this tax thing, I beg government, I'm not fixing my road. There's no, like, it doesn't matter what you think the government hasn't done. What is your role? What is your responsibility as a citizen? And I always say this thing, we keep asking for a lot from other people. Have we taken a look at ourselves to say, have I done the best that I can do? You can't have a responsible leadership if you're not a responsible citizen, because our leaders are not falling from the sky. It's me and you, it's us. So when we learn and movies and films teach us this, they tell the real stories, which is what made me so excited to be part of this. It's a real story about real things that everybody can learn from subconsciously and say, you know, actually, that tax idea I've not yet sorted. Let's go and check it now. This is a good time. So I really like that. That's what I learned.
Saidi, talking about tax and some of the themes in the film, when we should look at LIRS being a partner in this film and really trying to make sure we begin a conversation about civic duties and civic responsibility. You're someone that has taken this very seriously. Even as part of your birthday celebrations, you did a session with actors and the tax authorities. Why is this so important to you, and what elements of this sort of was aligned to your philosophy when you got the script?
Okay, two things. Let me start with the first one. When I got the script, these days you hear we need the youths, they are leaders, they are that, they are these, they are But we see a lot of youths, I'm sorry, apology to anybody, drinking Sasha, doing Yahoo, doing that. You put that kind of person into power, what do you expect? They're going to Yahoo you all. So if you watch this movie, if you have anything little now to do, you know this is your future. This is your tomorrow. Now you learn how to manage it so that you don't fall into the same ditch. Do you get it? That's one. On the tax level, I laugh at time most of the time in this country. I am the government. You are the government. If I don't pay my tax, how come I'm going to have a good road? The electricity, we're shouting, we're screaming. Everything has to do with you paying your tax. If you don't pay, money is not going to fall from the sky. We all have to, and a lot of things is going on behind that we don't know. That we don't, I mean, we just see it like, what's my business with that? No, it is your business. My mates go on social media, oh, we bought this, da, da, da. I say, oh, well done, have you paid your tax?
Yes.
I mean, before you do things, you should think, I want Lagos. That's what, you know, one thing, again, apart from the tax thing, I'm happy you added, I mean, it's in the movie. Yes. It is a good thing. You see, I said somebody saw the trailer. The whole world saw it, and it's a fantastic movie. You've been able to tell the whole world, Nigerian singers can act. Yes. Nigerian actors can sing. Yes. Any race can do it well. Again, they feel Africans, do they do this, do they do that? Americans will see us talking about us, they'll be like, whoa, is this for real? Yeah, it is for real. We need to pay our tax. And the way Lagos, and I've seen some movies, the way they portray our country, Nigeria, I'm like, are you sure this is my country? They have a way. I mean, this kind of politics they play. They come to shoot in my country and they, but look at the way Lagos is in Lara and the beat. I'm like, is this real? Why am I having my holiday abroad then? Do you get everything? Lagos in the movie, well played. You will love Lagos. I told you I show a guy and he wants to run down to Lagos. I said, yes, this is Lagos. So, and these are the things the tax I have paid. That is what you are seeing in Lagos, to beautify Lagos. That's it. That's all I have to say.
No, it's true. I mean, Lagos plays a huge character in the film. I think Lagos is an amazing backdrop to tell a Nigerian story. And I just want to get a sense, like, what is, like, the most Lagos thing for you? Like, when you think of Lagos, the thing that, if you, like, when you're not in Lagos, you're like, I got to get back to Lagos. And, like, the first thing that gets you back into the Lagos, Lasgiri mode.
The hustle and bustle, as in the heat, the movement, the noise, you know, the people, the energy, you know. If I go somewhere else and, like, the only thing that wants to make me come back is just the family and all of that. But sometimes after a while, I'm like, I miss Lagos, Sha. It's always a surprise. Yes, you look at yourself in the mirror. No, I didn't just say that. No, the person, I miss Lagos. No, I need to go home. I want to go home. Let's just hurry and go home. I found myself in such situations so many times, and I'm like, no, Lagos has to be home.
And Lagos has one thing, fantastic. And whatever you have is in Lagos. You want is in Lagos.
Everything.
You want the cool side, the chill side. You enjoy yourself as if you are not in this country.
It's in Lagos.
The hot side.
It's in Lagos.
The beautiful side. Everything is in Lagos. And when I saw the boat thing, I'm like, is this Lagos? I have to. And not expensive, you know. They think for you to get the best out of every country, especially you have to go abroad. No, you just made a statement. We have it right here. If you know how to move, you get it all.
Thank you guys so much for being on the show today. You guys heard it, July 20 in cinemas across Nigeria. Please go see Lara and the Beat. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks. This brings us to the end of the morning show today. I'm Biola Alabi. Goodbye, and thank you for watching.